I'm not disappointed. I'm not mad. I'm not upset. I'm not surprised. And I mean that with all due respect, because I think it's been a long time, but when I entered for good, the melee, it wasn't pretty. At times you saw, it's been so long. It's been 30 years or so. Our offense was, my first year, had one star player, Sterling. The rest of the guys were, when I think back to that time, I didn't know a good team from a bad team. I didn't really know a great player from a good player, to, a bad player, you could recognize that. Most of the time, a bad player's not on the field, but, there was a learning curve. And, just let's start with me. Holmgren called plays for the whole 6 years that we were together. But that first year, just imagine you're a play caller. I come in the game, Mikowski gets hurt. How on earth would you know what I like, what I feel comfortable with? So you call plays, and I always tell people this, and this may or may not be true, but I think that it's probably more to the true aspect of it rather than the not true. But I think Mike called plays. The previous year, he was calling plays for San Francisco with Steve Young. He called plays for Joe Montana before that. So in his mind, you're going to call those plays that worked when you were in San Francisco. And it worked because you had Steve Young and Joe Montana, both veteran quarterbacks, both almost never made bad decisions or bad throws. So I'll call those plays. Well, some worked, some didn't. I was quick to get out of the pocket because I didn't trust protection, because I didn't understand protections. So it looked like a chicken with his head cut off running around the chicken yard. And at times you would see maybe arm strength or a playmaking ability that probably shouldn't have happened because I shouldn't have deviated from the play itself. So once, over time, Mike called plays that fit my personality until I got, really good at recognizing coverages, how protections work against certain blitzes, so on and so forth. And I think, that's kind of what we're seeing with Jordan. Maybe not so much understanding stuff, because he's been in the same offense and he's been with LaFleur long enough that part of it, I think he has good command of. The problem is protection is shaky at best. You got guys that are not Sterling Sharp at wide receiver. And again, all due respect, they're young. They haven't logged the miles that Sterling had logged prior to me getting there. He had established himself as a true number one receiver and one of the tops in the league before I got there. Yeah. So I had that to fall back on. When all else fails, throw it to Sterling, and good things happen. And that was true. Jordan doesn't have that. And I think even though he's been around for a while, it's different watching versus playing. The real bullets are a lot different than not real bullets. And so, I think Packer fans across the country and the world are disappointed, but I think what they have to, and I think most of them would agree to a certain extent that they're not surprised. They were hopeful, but not, I'm sure they're yelling at the TV, and at the end of the game, they're disappointed. But deep down inside, you have to agree that it's not a surprise. That being said, good things, I think, if they can stay injury free for the most part, get over the learning curve, get through that. I think they'll be okay. Jordan, I think I like what I see. I think he's got a good demeanor. He's definitely got a good arm. He's accurate. I think there's a lot of upside for him, which would in turn lead to more success with the team. How soon will that happen? I have no idea, but I think when they hit on all cylinders, they're young. I think the youngest team in football. Correct me if I'm wrong. So there's going to be a learning curve, and the season's not over. You can't write them off, especially with that division. The division's sort of wide open. Detroit seems to be in good command of that division. But hey, they could hit on all cylinders at any moment, or it could be 2 years from now. I have no idea, but I think we need to be somewhat patient with them.